This is Jill Pack with the Seasons of Joy podcast. This is episode number 84, and it's day 4 of the 5-day Relationship Reboot Challenge. Are you a woman of faith who is struggling to navigate your current season of life? Do you feel like life is just happening to you instead of for you? My name is Jill Pack. I'm a certified life coach and a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And I want you to know that no matter your season or circumstance, it is possible to create a more joyful life. And I would love to show you how. Are you ready? Let's go. Hello, friends. This is day 4 of the 5-day Relationship Reboot Challenge. And today's challenge builds on the other 3 days. So again, if you haven't had a chance to listen to day 1, 2, or 3 of the challenge, I invite you to do those before completing today's challenge. Now remember, you can go to the link in the show notes to download the small workbook that I created for this challenge, or you can just use your own journal for the exercises. I would also like you to be a part of my Seasons of Joy community Facebook group. That way we can support each other through this challenge. So again, you can find the link to join the community in the show notes as well. So far, we've talked about defining your values and vision so that you can show up as who you want to be in your relationship of focus. Using those as your guide, you created an impact statement. And using that impact statement, you began to explore the exciting possibilities of change. Taking action towards wanted change from excitement while incorporating fun into the process creates momentum within you. You are the creator of it. So today is day 4 of this challenge, and it's to begin where you are. When we look so far down the road with a wider lens, we can see where we want to go, and that's important. However, the wanted change we desire can also seem far away, which can leave us feeling discouraged, right? There's that book called The Big Leap, and it's the gap and the gain. And so often we focus on the gap between where we are and where we want to go, and this can feel impossible to bridge. And so that's why it's so important to begin where you are, and we do this by shortening our lens for a closer view. So there's 2 parts to this. The first part is recognizing that you are a human being with a human brain. And we don't always show up as our best in our relationships as humans. So beginning where you are means taking responsibility for your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions, and not blaming others. There are times where I am judgmental, and there are times that I'm not enjoying the present moment, right? Those were some goals that I was working towards, and sometimes I just don't achieve them. Now, that doesn't make me a terrible person. It's just where I am in the moment. It's part of my journey of becoming. And so accepting this doesn't mean I don't want to create change for myself, but denying it or not taking responsibility for where I am currently doesn't help me create change. It does quite the opposite. It's like using a GPS to get somewhere I want to go, right? And I plug in the destination without including my current location. A route cannot be created. I have to know where I am in order to see the route to where I want to go. So on day 1, right, we spent time creating that destination or that vision of where we want to go in our relationship of focus. We also defined those values that we can use as landmarks to help us guide us along the way. But where we currently are plays an important role in where we want to go. Your current location is valuable information. It isn't meant to be used to criticize or judge yourself. You aren't doing life wrong because of where you are right now. Your current location is part of your life's journey, and it's giving you the perfect opportunity to learn and grow if you will allow it to. When we can really be honest with ourselves, that is when we can really create wanted change in our lives. The second part of beginning where we are is looking at our strengths. There are gifts and talents that you have been given that maybe you are overlooking because you're only seeing what you are lacking or wanting to change. Now, as humans, again, our brains are designed to look for what's wrong, and it's always on the lookout for real or perceived danger. This is a way that our brain protects us from harm. So finding the things that are working for us or that we're doing well doesn't come naturally, and it takes practice. But the better we get at focusing on what our strengths are, we can begin using those to help us create wanted change in our relationships. So for today's exercise, I want you to set a timer for 5 minutes and begin brainstorming areas in your relationship of focus where you struggle or you've received feedback for improvement. I also want you to spend time discovering your strengths by considering the activities you excel at and genuinely enjoy. By understanding your strengths and your weaknesses, you can leverage your strengths to create wanted change in yourself and in your relationships, right? But we have to acknowledge both. And then finally, I want you to consider what you're grateful for about you. It's so easy to shame ourselves, but that never helps us to be who we want to be. When we take the time to show gratitude and celebrate ourselves, we actually strengthen our ability to create that change that we want. So for example, you may have poor organizational skills, but you might be highly creative. You may struggle with multitasking, but you can communicate very well. Or you may have a hard time making decisions, but you have strong problem-solving skills. You may be too critical of yourself, but you have high emotional intelligence. You may overschedule yourself, but you connect easily with others. Or you may not always listen attentively, but you love serving your partner. You get the idea. Remember, just because we struggle with something doesn't mean that is a fixed trait. We can choose to put in the effort and practice to improve that weakness by tapping into our strengths. So how can you take the strengths that you've written down and explored to improving your relationship of focus? So for me, when I did this, I discovered that I am assuming that the other person is always mad at me. So I overthink what they say or do, which causes me to feel down and avoid engaging with this person. But I also know that I have developed the ability to love and be curious in other relationships in my life. And I'm so grateful that I'm usually able to move to compassion and understanding pretty easily. And I'm so grateful that I'm not typically easily offended and I can forgive. So understanding these things about me, I'm going to practice going into curiosity instead of criticism. I'm going to practice assuming the best and forgiving easily in my relationship of focus. I'm also going to go to intentionally engage with the person from a place of love. So that is the challenge for today. Step 1, brainstorm areas in your relationship of focus where you see some of your weaknesses. And then continue brainstorming around some of your strengths, right? And then you're going to get curious. How can those strengths that you've identified help you to improve those weaknesses in your relationship? And then step 3 is another invitation to join the Seasons of Joy Community Facebook group and share some of those strengths that you discovered during this exercise that you can use to improve your relationship of focus. Thank you so much for being here. That's all I have for you today. Have a joyful day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for listening. If you like what you hear, I would love it if you would share it with your friends and family and leave me a rating and review. If you'd like to learn more about what life coaching is, please schedule a free discovery call with me where we can work together through something that's causing you a problem. Just go to my website, seasons-coaching.com, and you can also find information about my Seasons of Joy one-on-one coaching program and my Seasons of Joy community. Have a joyful week, and I'll see you next time.